The University of Johannesburg students are protesting against the institution's vaccine policy. The facility is not allowing on campus students who've not been vaccinated against COVID-19. SRC President Mxolisi Manana joins me now to discuss this further. Good morning, Mxolisi, and thank you very much for your time. Now, I understand that yesterday in particular you staged that protest over vaccine mandates. You're in fact calling for the suspension of the mandates. Can you just at the very least take us through the policy in its current form? What does it provide for?
Good morning and thanks to you. Good morning to your viewers as well. Well, what is currently happening in the University of Johannesburg is that when students, both students and staff, but I'll particularly remain with students on this one, is that when you access the facilities of the university, you must then produce a vaccine certificate along with your proof of registration. So what we are saying as the SRC, we're saying that we reject this mandatory vaccination policy because this is a draconian policy. We strongly feel that this policy, there was not enough research that was done. Remember, the University of Johannesburg is a center for critical intellectual inquiry, yet there's no research that has been done that is sufficient to come up with such a draconian policy as this of the mandatory vaccination policy.
Okay. Now, when I'm getting you correctly here, you're saying that when you access the university, you'd have to produce COVID-19 results that are negative. Now, what about those that access the university on a daily? Would this be now something that is done how frequently?
Yes, of course. I mean, if you have indicated that you don't wish to vaccinate or you've applied for exemption from this policy, you then are required to provide negative test results of COVID-19 on a weekly basis. And remember, who are you asking these negative test results from? You're asking these negative test results from students who are NSFAS beneficiaries and don't have the money to be testing on a weekly basis. So really, it does not speak to the constituencies and the primary stakeholders of the institution, which are the students.
Mm-hmm. So those exemptions do not satisfy the students insofar as the exemption around medical or religious grounds are concerned? Nobody wants to apply for those?
Yes, of course. Students are applying in their numbers. They have applied for such exemption. But remember that even though you are exempted from taking the jab, you are required to provide a weekly test result that is negative of COVID-19. So it is on that basis to say, who are you asking this from? We completely understand that, of course, this is an infringement on their constitutional requirement of bodily integrity. And it is on that basis that we reject this policy.
Mm-hmm. So what do you make of their argument as the university now that you speak of bodily integrity? Because their position is that they had to balance your freedoms and bodily integrity against the rights of the students and staff to health and safety.
Look, with the students, there's not really much friction as to saying I am vaccinated and you are not vaccinated, and therefore there is the health risk that is concerned. Though medically we do not have the sufficient evidence to provide for such, but I mean the students themselves are saying we are standing with our fellow classmates, we are standing with our fellow friends who are saying that they don't wish to vaccinate for religious grounds or medical grounds that are prevalent at this situation.
So where to from here? Are they perhaps looking to engage you further? The numbers have in fact decreased. We're actually monitoring the briefing by the Health Ministry. They have decreased. Could they be swayed in any way? Are you meeting?
Yes, the SRC, of course, will be forwarding its memorandum of internal demands this afternoon around the vaccination policy of the university. To speak to the numbers that you speak of, and to speak to the fact that there's really no need for them to be pushing such a policy that is draconian as this one. But look, let me also mention that the students that have elected us into office are the very same students who are going to give us a mandate on what then happens next, provided that the University of Johannesburg is not swayed upon what we have submitted to them.
And then just in closing, online learning, is it a possibility in this respect? Was it offered, in fact, that perhaps for those students that don't want to vaccinate, perhaps they can catch the lectures online?
Yes, we do have online classes, but remember that the moment you say that students must now, because of they are not vaccinated, they must join the class online, you are then excluding these students. Because remember that the moment they are online, then it decreases or limits their participation in the classroom. Yet you expect them to compete with the people who attended class in the very same examination. So it really it does not equate to a fair assessment process.